Hi, I'm George Flickinger, and I have new information about the Sand Springs tornado. But first, before we get into that, you've probably heard all sorts of stories about tornadoes, and most of these aren't correct as far as where tornadoes can go, where they can cross. You're going to see that many of these myths in the Sand Springs tornadoes were wiped out by the tornado. I'll show you what we're talking about shortly. Now, first off, the Tulsa National Weather Service went out and they rated the damage of the tornado as an EF2. This means the winds estimated 125 to 135. At peak, the tornado widened to a half-mile wide. That is a large tornado. Your average tornado is about 100 yards wide. It was on the ground also for 9 miles as the tornado first formed on top of Keystone Lake. So this tornado actually formed over water, and then it made its way on shore. As far as the exact track of it, a little hard to make out here, but you can see that little blue-purple track extends from northwest to southeast. So this tornado tracked from northwest to southeast, which is a bit unusual, but not unheard of in Oklahoma for tornadoes. Tornado formed on top of the lake, then it crossed that Highway 412 bridge out west of Sand Springs, moving into the Westport area. Then all those huge hills that are on the east side of Keystone Lake. That tornado traveled up the hill and strengthened as it did so. It was at peak intensity when it was on the north side of Highway 412. Then the tornado crossed Highway 412, crossed the Arkansas River for a second time, and the tornado dissipated just before reaching downtown Sand Springs. So this is a map kind of showing you where the tornado formed. On the left side of the screen, you're looking at Keystone Lake, and also Keystone Dam and the Arkansas River there. That is where the tornado formed. The tornado crossed Highway 412, moving through Westport, then it crossed the river a second time, moving near the Fisher community on the south side of the river, then it dissipated near the Highway 9751 bridge, which goes from north to south across the Arkansas River. If this tornado had formed, say, just slightly farther east and north, that tornado would have moved into downtown Sand Springs. Pretty scary to think about. Now, as far as West Tulsa and Tulsa, we missed out on the tornado. However, you probably heard the stories and you've seen the pictures about all the storm damage. That wasn't from the tornado. That was from a rear flank downdraft, which is a very strong west wind, which wraps around the circulation of the storm as the storm was recycling. So it wasn't tornado damage, but I've seen this from my storm chasing. That wind can be strong enough to do damage similar to a small tornado, and this wind was near 100 miles an hour. I remember that happening from some of my storm chases when I've been out in Storm Chaser 2, and I've seen a tornado to our north, and when you're a few miles south of the tornado, south of the circulation, sometimes there can be that real strong west wind which is wrapping around, and that wind can do damage similar to an EF0, EF1 tornado. So overall, certainly quite scary considering how close this tornado did make it to downtown Sand Springs and also more heavily populated areas. I'm George Flickinger. Hopefully this information does help you out, and it also is going to show you that rivers have no influence on tornadoes, and also terrain is no match for tornadoes either. Tornadoes can climb big hills, and we saw that in the Sand Springs tornado. I'm George Flickinger. Hopefully this info helps you out. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.